Now, from the Mel Johnson Studios at the University of Northwestern, this is Eagle 7 News.
Good morning, Eagles, and welcome to Eagle 7. I'm Joe Sutton.
And I'm Sydney Werlein.
Spirits are high on campus as Northwestern nears the end of homecoming week. However, in national news, another campus is experiencing a horrific loss. According to the USA Today, 10 people were killed and more than 20 others were injured in the Umpqua Community College in Oregon Thursday. The shooter allegedly shot a professor and continued firing at students. Some reporters state that the suspect asked students to stand up and state their religions. The alleged shooter is now dead, according to several reports, after officers returned gunfire.
Wow, that's tough stuff. On our campus, it's one of the best times of the year, homecoming week. I got the story for one of its most popular events. It's an event that gathers students in the stud for one sole purpose: food.
It's one of the more popular events during homecoming.
Students traveled from all over campus in hopes of winning free food.
A lot of people want to get free food and free stuff for their room.
Many students left bingo empty-handed, but for a 2-year veteran, the waiting has finally paid off.
The last year and the year before, but it's the first time I've won anything.
Many students have no idea how much work is put into creating this event. We caught up with Yul Shabeshi, coordinator of publicity and advertising, to get a behind-the-scenes look of what goes into putting together an event like this.
We've been setting this event up for about a month. The date's been reserved for about a year, though. As far as designing posters and all that goes, I've been designing it for about a week and a half, and printing and all that takes about another week.
We have a bingo!
Grocery bingo night was a huge success. Many walked away with full bellies, while others not so lucky. Reporting from the Student Center for Eagle 7 News, I'm Sydney Werlein.
Students gathered at the campus green on Tuesday for a night of the first instance of the UNW Homecoming Capture the Flag. This event was part of the week's festivities put on by student activities. Attendance and spirits were both high as students ran their hearts out for the prize.
A yearly homecoming tradition, the Powder Puff football games took place Wednesday night. The juniors and freshmen faced off as the seniors played the sophomores in thrilling games on Reynolds Field. At the end of their hard-fought games, the seniors, coached by Austin Stubbs and our very own Joe Sutton, emerged victorious on the Sacred Acre, concluding another successful year of homecoming Powder Puff.
Joining a club could enhance any student's college experience. Eagle 7's Hannah Swanson caught up with the president and vice president of the advertising club to see what opportunities they can offer for students at UNW.
Hi, I'm Brittany Cook.
I'm Carolyn Johnson.
What inspired you guys to start the advertising club?
I was inspired to start the advertising club because I believe this club will help equip students who are interested in the advertising, communication, and marketing industries to learn more and better themselves in these industries.
I'm the vice president of the advertising club, so I'm assisting Brittany in just getting the club started and planning events and agency tours, as well as bringing in speakers.
So it's super easy to get involved with our club. You don't have to be a marketing major or business major to get involved, but if you're interested in coming to any of our meetings or any of the agency tours that we have lined up, just go ahead and check out our website. There's a calendar on there with all of our events scheduled out, and also be sure, if you're interested in a leadership position, we have a couple positions open still, couple social media positions, as well as an event planning position open. Go ahead and email us at unwspadclub@outlook.com.
Students had their eyes on the sky Sunday night. The sun, earth, and moon lined up to put on a show, and people all around the world looked up to watch the lunar eclipse. The moon, called the blood moon for its reddish hue, appeared around 9:30 p.m. This lunar eclipse was also a supermoon, which meant it was closer to the earth and looked quite large in the sky. It was the last in a series of 4 eclipses spanning 2 years. The last supermoon lunar eclipse occurred in 1982. That was a great way to begin the fall. Don't you think, Hannah?
I agree, Sydney. We have been experiencing beautiful fall weather. We're finally experiencing that beautiful brisk air, and you can wear your flannels comfortably, and it's sweatshirt season. Today it looks like it's going to be sunny with a high of 60, so make sure you remember to wear your sweatshirt. It's going to be a little brisk today. For the rest of the week, it looks like we're going to be having 50s and 60s, sometimes in the high 60s. Perfect, again, flannel weather. good time for you to get out there, experience some bonfires and everything. It is my favorite season of all. This week's hometown weather is from Watertown, South Dakota, the hometown of Taylor Lindahl. Look at that. Wow. Such beautiful country land. Yay, South Dakota. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Hannah, for the weather. The women's volleyball team held a 3-game winning streak on Wednesday, beating Crown and McAllister College. Their success inspired me to get the story on what it means to be an Eagle volleyball player. Going into Friday's game against St. Thomas, the Eagles were heavy underdogs. But after rallying behind junior Shanae Gonder, the Eagles did something they haven't been able to do in a long time.
Well, beating St. Thomas was a really awesome accomplishment for our team. Our coach, actually, when she was a senior in college, that was the last time that Northwestern has beat St. Thomas. So it was a really awesome team win overall. Lizzie Jonas had, I think, 5 aces. Our passing scores were really great, and then that really enabled the hitters to do really well up at the net, too.
After recording 21 kills and a .594 hitting percentage, Shanae Gonder was named UMAC Player of the Week.
It was really an honor to be named UMAC Player of the Week after our St. Thomas game, seeing that was such a pivotal game in our season so far.
Even with the impressive showing, Shanae Gonder sticks with her team-based values.
I think something that's central to Northwestern volleyball is really owning your role, whether that's on the court or off the court. And so we have a lot of freshmen that came in that have really embraced the encouragement, affirmation role.
Despite what little games have been played, the team is still making progress on the court.
We really have grown a lot, learning how to release mistakes, come back as a team together, and work through challenging moments during a game. And I think the St. Thomas game was a good illustration of how we've really grown together as a team. We are always focused on getting better the next game and not being settled with where we were. So really just focusing on, okay, what did I do last game? What did we do well as a team? And what can we do to improve as we continue on in this season?
For Eagle 7 News, this is Brennen Scarbrough. The Eagles soccer teams also found themselves having a great week. The men's soccer team won in overtime when Josh Fritz scored off of an assist from Matt McCann to win the game in overtime. The women's team also found success, winning against Crown College outright, winning 7-0. This Saturday, get ready for some homecoming football at Reynolds Field at 1 p.m. against Iowa Wesleyan. Eagle 7 will be there filming in a CTV news truck. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Student safety is a big priority at Northwestern. Recently, there have been several incidents of theft and tailgating on campus. Eagle 7's Lizzie Earhart talked with Public Safety to find out more.
You may recall having received an email from Public Safety recently. We caught up with Pete Solo to find out what students need to be aware of as far as public safety is concerned on campus. What are some recent concerns we've had with safety on campus?
Well, some of the things that we've talked about this fall, we've sent out safety notices to the community-wide to remind students to use safe practices to make sure that they lock their bike. We encourage students to use a heavy bar-type lock rather than just a cable or chain lock. We've encouraged students to not allow somebody in along with you when you badge into your residence hall. The dorms are locked 24/7. They should just simply badge in themselves, quickly slip in, and let the door close. If they know the person, they know them to live in the building that's coming in behind them, I would encourage them to hold the door open. If they have suspicion that they really don't belong on campus, that they might be of questionable character, intent, they should call Public Safety at 5310 and ask us to follow up with it and investigate it.
What should students be doing to be more prepared and more proactive?
Just pay more attention to make sure that not only is their safety of a concern, but it's the safety of everyone in their residence hall. And since our alerts that have gone out to the community, we have not had any further reports of anything questionable. We do need all students to help with that. We certainly can't be everywhere. We have cameras in certain locations, but we do need students to help with those things.
So students should be taking precautions on campus. I'm Lizzie Earhart with Eagle 7 News.
Be sure to lock your dorm rooms, cars, and bikes, and don't let anyone follow you into a residence hall that you don't know. Be sure to report any suspicious behavior to Public Safety.
Thank you for the advice, Sydney. Have you ever been curious about the truth behind the legends of the campus chapel? Neither have I. Eagle 7's Ryan Wink has the story.
Nazareth Hall was originally built as a Catholic seminary, But what is the history behind its beautiful architecture? I sat down with Professor Mark Baden to get the whole story.
I thought, what is this? A beautiful lake and an Italian-looking church. I couldn't believe it.
We wanted to uncover the reason for Professor Baden's passion about the chapel.
My first interest, well, as an art historian, as a person interested in art, we always love things that are beautiful, things that are interesting. And the first day that I came on campus in 1982, I drove into Northwestern's campus, and I didn't really know too much about the campus. I hadn't been on campus, but I thought I'm in Italy.
Professor Baden also debunked one of the most common myths about the chapel's columns.
Some of them got destroyed in shipping, and some of them sank at sea and all this stuff. We've never found any documentation to support that at all. I mean, there's no written documentation. It's sort of like a myth that's been around. But when you count the number of columns that are in here, there are 8 of them. And in Christian symbolism, 8 is the number for the resurrection, which makes perfect sense.
So, what was one of the most important things we learned about the chapel?
Not much happened by accident, if anything.
Later, Professor Baden showed us the architecture of the island chapel, where he personally restored one of the 7 broken stained glass windows.
So it's the Holy Trinity surrounded by 9 rosettes or 9 flowers.
If you want to see more, Professor Baden will be speaking in chapel in October. Well, Sydney, this has been a big week, fun week, at least for me, having a 3-peat championships in Powder Puff football.
We can't all be
deal.
winners.
That is very true.
But that's all we have for news here this week. I'm Sydney Werlein.
And I'm Joe Sutton. Thanks for joining us, and always remember, stay fly, Eagles.